Jaguar Wright just dropped a bombshell, and the hip-hop world is reeling. She didn't hold back, and now everyone is talking Jay-Z is under fire, and the claims? Absolutely shocking. According to Jaguar, the man hailed as a mogul, a legend, and a king of the game, is being called out as the biggest sellout in hip-hop history. That alone is enough to make fans sit up, but she didn't stop there. Rihanna Aaliyah. Names that carry weight, history, and emotion. Jaguar's statements suggest there's more behind the scenes than anyone imagined, moments, stories, and secrets that have stayed buried until now. And when you hear the words she said, the world will see a side of the industry that most people only whisper about. This isn't just drama, it's exposure, revelation, and a reminder that fame and fortune don't always tell the full story. The internet has already exploded. Clips are being replayed, comments are flooding in, and reactions are coming from every corner of hip-hop and beyond. Fans are debating, questioning, and reevaluating what they thought they knew about some of the biggest names in the industry. And the controversy isn't slowing down. It's only just beginning. This is one of those moments that separates casual gossip from game-changing revelations. Every word Jaguar said, every claim she made, has shaken the culture. Jay-Z, Rihanna, Aaliyah, nothing will look the same again. Get ready, because this story is raw, shocking, and it's about to turn the hip-hop world upside down. Jaguar Wright's words didn't just stir the internet, they detonated it. Across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, fans were replaying the clips over and over, dissecting every phrase, every pause, every tone of voice. Comments flooded in, debates erupted, and influencers jumped on the story within minutes. This wasn't just gossip, this was a revelation that hit at the core of hip-hop culture. Jay-Z, the mogul, the king, the man whose name is synonymous with success and empire building, suddenly found himself under scrutiny. Jaguar didn't hold back. She called him the biggest sellout, a term loaded with history, meaning, and accusation. In hip-hop, respect is earned and maintained with action, loyalty, and credibility. To call Jay-Z a sellout is to challenge his entire legacy, and she did it publicly. But the story didn't stop there. Rihanna Aaliyah. Two of the most iconic women in music, their names now tied to shocking claims that most of the world never heard before. Jaguar implied that their experiences within the industry were more complicated, more painful, and more manipulative than previously known. These weren't just offhand remarks, they were accusations that demanded attention, reflection, and dialogue. Social media exploded instantly. Fans debated the validity of Jaguar's statements. Some defended her, citing history and patterns in the industry. Others questioned motives, wondering if this was strategic or emotional. But no one could ignore the weight of her words. Clips of her interviews went viral, GIFs and memes proliferated, and discussion panels on YouTube and podcasts were analyzing every second. The ripple effects reached beyond social media. Industry insiders began quietly talking, evaluating what this meant for reputation, alliances, and perception. Managers, publicists, and collaborators weighed the impact of these revelations on streaming numbers, branding opportunities, and ongoing projects. In a world where visibility is everything, every word can change the narrative. For Jay-Z, this confrontation with Jaguar Wright's words is a reminder that no empire is untouchable. Influence and respect can be challenged publicly, and in the digital era, the world watches every move, reaction, and statement. How he responds, both in public and behind the scenes, will influence not just his legacy, but how the culture perceives him. Jaguar's accusations about Rihanna and Aaliyah added an even darker, more complicated layer to the story. These are names that symbolize power, artistry, and influence. Tying them to allegations of manipulation, exploitation, or mistreatment transforms the conversation from celebrity drama into cultural scrutiny. The way the public reacts to this, the debates that unfold, and the conversations it sparks could redefine how the industry's treatment of women in music is discussed. As the clips circulated, reactions ranged from outrage to disbelief to curiosity. Fans and critics alike dissected the timeline of events, questioning when and how these experiences took place, who knew, and what was left unspoken. Every interview snippet, every post, every response became fuel for discussion. The story wasn't just spreading, it was evolving, taking on a life of its own as layers of history, culture, and emotion were revealed. Beyond the drama, Jaguar Wright's statements highlighted a fundamental tension in hip-hop and the music industry, the balance between fame, fortune, power, and morality. Artists are often celebrated for their success, their wealth, and their influence. But what happens behind the scenes, the deals, the decisions, the compromises, is rarely visible. Jaguar forced a spotlight onto these unseen dynamics, raising uncomfortable but necessary questions about integrity, loyalty, and the cost of success. Fans dissected the emotional weight in Jaguar's voice. Every pause carried significance, every phrase hinted at deeper truths. It was clear she wasn't speaking recklessly. This was measured, deliberate, and intended to expose realities that many had ignored or overlooked. And the public responded. Views skyrocketed. Shares multiplied. Conversations extended beyond social media into living rooms, offices, and discussions across the globe. Critics of Jaguar questioned her motives. Was this an attempt at personal attention, a response to past grievances, or a calculated exposure? Yet, even skepticism couldn't diminish the impact of her words. She tapped into a long-simmering awareness within the culture that behind the glitter, the fame, and the empire, there are truths that are uncomfortable, complex, and sometimes shocking. Meanwhile, the internet dissected Jay-Z's legacy like never before. Tweets debated whether being a sellout negates his artistic and business achievements. YouTube creators uploaded detailed analysis videos, breaking down lyrics, business moves, and historical context to evaluate Jaguar's claims. Some argued she was right, pointing to past deals and decisions. Others defended Jay-Z, emphasizing his contributions to hip-hop culture, philanthropy, and entrepreneurship. But the conversation about Rihanna and Aaliyah carried an entirely different weight. These names evoke emotion and history. Linking them to controversial claims elevated the stakes. It wasn't just about business decisions anymore. It was about power, influence, and protection. Fans demanded more context, more clarity, more answers. Podcasts, panels, and online forums quickly became arenas for debate, analysis, and speculation. As the day progressed, the story showed no signs of slowing down. Every clip, every soundbite, every highlight became a new point of discussion. The drama wasn't passive, it was active, evolving, and expanding. The audience wasn't just observing, they were participating, reacting, and shaping the narrative themselves. Jaguar Wright's boldness forced a cultural reflection. She reminded the world that fame and influence do not shield one from accountability. Her words challenged assumptions about the music industry, about power dynamics, and about the treatment of artists and women within it. The reactions weren't just entertainment, they were a mirror reflecting how society perceives legacy, morality, and influence. For Jay-Z, this moment is pivotal. It's a test of legacy, reputation, and influence under intense public scrutiny. How he chooses to respond publicly or privately will have ripple effects on his career, public image, and the way history remembers him. Meanwhile, fans continue to debate, speculate, and dissect every piece of media connected to the story. And as the drama unfolds, one thing is certain: Jaguar Wright's words have sparked a conversation that will reverberate across hip-hop and the music industry for months to come. The story is raw, shocking, and far from over, a testament to the power of speaking truth to fame and the lasting impact of revelations that challenge icons and shake culture to its core. As Jaguar Wright's statements continued to circulate, the reactions intensified. Clips of her interviews were everywhere: Instagram stories, TikTok feeds, YouTube compilations, and Twitter threads. Fans dissected every word, debating whether her accusations were accurate, exaggerated, or something the industry had deliberately ignored for years. The energy online wasn't just curiosity, it was outrage, disbelief, and fascination all rolled into one. The commentary was relentless. Hip-hop forums erupted with discussions about Jay-Z's legacy, and many revisited his past business deals, partnerships, and public decisions in light of Jaguar's claim that he's the biggest sellout. Every album, every investment, every public move became a point of analysis. Fans argued over whether commercial success equates to selling out and whether loyalty to the culture had been compromised along the way. Meanwhile, the segments about Rihanna and Aaliyah added a darker, more emotional layer. Jaguar's words suggested there were experiences in the industry that were manipulative, harmful, or exploitative. Social media exploded with fans expressing shock and anger. Questions poured in. What really happened behind the scenes? Who knew? How did the industry protect itself while these stories remained buried? The curiosity was almost unbearable, and engagement skyrocketed. Influencers and YouTubers were quick to capitalize. Reaction videos analyzed Jaguar's tone, facial expressions, and choice of words. Some creators broke down the claims frame by frame, providing historical context and cross-referencing incidents in the music industry. Memes began circulating, some humorous, others somber, all highlighting the intensity and shocking nature of her statements. Every upload sparked further discussion, creating a self-feeding cycle of virality. Industry insiders also weighed in. Managers, publicists, and artists quietly evaluated the potential fallout. Jaguar's statements weren't just a viral moment, they had implications for branding, collaborations, and future projects. In an era where public perception can make or break careers, any association with controversy must be navigated carefully. Labels were reportedly convening emergency discussions to assess damage control strategies. The fan response was just as intense. On Twitter, hashtags related to Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Aaliyah began trending globally. People debated her credibility, dissected the claims, and shared their own interpretations. Some fans were firmly in Jaguar's corner, praising her bravery for speaking out. Others defended Jay-Z, highlighting his contributions to hip-hop and questioning her motives. The conversation became a microcosm of larger debates about fame, power, and morality in the music industry. Podcasts were quick to jump on the story. Hosts broke down the implications for Jay-Z's legacy and the industry at large. They discussed how Jaguar's revelations challenged the way fans perceive power dynamics in music, especially regarding female artists. Some analysts framed it as a lesson in accountability, arguing that even the biggest names in hip-hop can't escape scrutiny when uncomfortable truths surface. The story also sparked cross-cultural discussions. Fans of pop, R&B, and hip-hop debated the broader implications of celebrity influence and responsibility. The claims about Rihanna and Aaliyah in particular resonated outside the hip-hop community, opening conversations about how the music industry handles fame, power, and exploitation. Opinion pieces began emerging on blogs and news sites, some supportive of Jaguar, others critical, but all amplifying the conversation. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's silence became a story in itself. Every time he refrained from responding, speculation grew. Social media users theorized about whether he would issue a statement, how he might respond publicly, and what his silence signified. Analysts debated if silence was strategic, a calculated way to maintain control, or if it risked letting Jaguar's narrative dominate. Either way, it added tension to the unfolding drama. Jaguar Wright's courage to speak publicly also inspired other artists. Some saw her as a model for transparency, a reminder that speaking truth in the face of industry power can have a ripple effect. Others were more cautious, recognizing the risks of confronting legends publicly. The contrast between the freedom to speak and the potential consequences highlighted the tension that exists in the music world, where respect, fear, and influence are constantly in play. The memes and viral content didn't just exaggerate expressions or moments, they shaped perception. Some portrayed Jaguar as fearless, others as dramatic, but all fueled engagement. Even casual fans who were previously uninterested in hip-hop debates suddenly found themselves involved, drawn in by the intensity, the names, and the sheer audacity of the revelations. Analysts also noted a generational aspect. Older fans revisited Jay-Z's rise from Marcy projects to mogul status, questioning whether ambition and commercial success conflicted with loyalty to culture. Younger fans saw Jaguar's statements as validation of unspoken truths, shedding light on the hidden side of fame and influence in music. The clash of perspectives amplified discussions and kept the story trending. Meanwhile, debates online also expanded to discussions of ethics, morality, and power in the entertainment industry. People questioned how far someone should go to protect themselves, their brand, and their influence. How much is truth allowed to surface, and who gets to control the narrative? Jaguar's revelations became a catalyst for broader reflection beyond hip-hop, touching on culture, society, and accountability. As the days passed, the viral momentum didn't slow. Clips continued to be uploaded, new angles of the story were explored, and conversations evolved. Every interview snippet, reaction, or highlight became content for discussion. The cycle of virality ensured that Jaguar's words remained front and center, dominating feeds and creating a lasting impression. By the end of the week, Jaguar Wright's revelations had transformed from a viral moment into a cultural conversation. Fans weren't just reacting, they were reflecting, debating, and analyzing. Industry insiders understood the gravity. This wasn't just drama, it was exposure, accountability, and a lesson in the power of speaking truth to fame. The conversation also reinforced an important cultural shift. The audience now has the power to amplify voices that were previously marginalized or silenced. Jaguar Wright's statements didn't just challenge Jay-Z, they reminded everyone that influence, fame, and legacy are subject to public scrutiny and that hidden truths eventually surface in a connected, digital world. Its reflection, analysis, and cultural conversation amplified through social media, reactions, and discussion. Every reaction, tweet, meme, and video contributed to the narrative, keeping it alive and evolving. And as the story continues, the impact of Jaguar Wright's words is only going to grow, shaping perceptions and sparking debates for weeks to come. The fallout from Jaguar Wright's revelations was far from over. Even as the initial viral clips circulated, new layers of the story kept emerging. Fans continued to dissect her words, and journalists, bloggers, and influencers worked overtime to provide commentary, background context, and hot takes. Every new video, every snippet of an interview, every meme, it all fed the fire. Jay-Z's silence remained one of the biggest talking points. Every post he didn't make, every comment he refrained from, became a story in itself. Social media was ablaze with speculation. Was he strategizing? Waiting to issue a statement? Or was silence his way of letting Jaguar Wright's words dominate public perception temporarily, only to respond later in a calculated move? Analysts debated the implications endlessly. Some said silence could damage his reputation if it was seen as avoidance. Others argued it only heightened the drama, giving him the upper hand when he finally spoke. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright became a focal point of praise, criticism, and controversy simultaneously. Supporters lauded her courage, calling her bravery a long-overdue moment of accountability in an industry often dominated by silence and secrecy. Critics questioned her motives, wondering if she had personal or strategic reasons for bringing these claims to light now. But regardless of perspective, no one could deny that she had captured the world's attention and kept it. The fallout from Jaguar Wright's revelations was far from over. Even as the initial viral clips circulated, new layers of the story kept emerging. Fans continued to dissect her words, and journalists, bloggers, and influencers worked overtime to provide commentary, background context, and hot takes. Every new video, every snippet of an interview, every meme, it all fed the fire. Jay-Z's silence remained one of the biggest talking points. Every post he didn't make, every comment he refrained from, became a story in itself. Social media was ablaze with speculation. Was he strategizing? Waiting to issue a statement? Or was silence his way of letting Jaguar Wright's words dominate public perception temporarily, only to respond later in a calculated move? Analysts debated the implications endlessly. Some said silence could damage his reputation if it was seen as avoidance. Others argued it only heightened the drama, giving him the upper hand when he finally spoke. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright became a focal point of praise, criticism, and controversy simultaneously. Supporters lauded her courage, calling her bravery a long-overdue moment of accountability in an industry often dominated by silence and secrecy. Critics questioned her motives, wondering if she had personal or strategic reasons for bringing these claims to light now. But regardless of perspective, no one could deny that she had captured the world's attention and kept it. The claims about Rihanna and Aaliyah amplified the drama exponentially. Discussions around these allegations spilled beyond hip-hop circles into pop culture and mainstream media. Social media users debated not only the validity of the claims, but also the broader cultural implications about how women in the music industry are treated, how power dynamics work behind the scenes, and what accountability truly looks like. Each new conversation added momentum to the story, making it a multi-layered viral phenomenon. Influencers and content creators fueled the story further. Reaction videos dissected Jaguar's tone, word choice, and delivery. Analysis videos tied her statements to historical events and public records. Meme accounts turned key moments into viral content. Every piece of content sparked new discussions, and the cycle of virality showed no signs of slowing. Fans also dug into Jay-Z's legacy like never before. His albums, lyrics, business moves, and public statements were re-examined in light of Jaguar's claims. Some argued that commercial success inevitably requires compromise, and therefore Sellout is subjective. Others felt that any compromise in loyalty, authenticity, or integrity should be called out. The debate sparked deeper questions about how hip-hop culture measures respect, legacy, and power, and whether fame changes the rules entirely. Meanwhile, the story inspired reflection on the treatment of women in the music industry. Jaguar Wright's comments about Rihanna and Aaliyah forced the conversation beyond celebrity gossip and into real issues of exploitation, manipulation, and influence. Fans, journalists, and creators debated how the industry protects itself while individuals navigate fame, and whether past patterns need to be addressed to prevent further harm. Podcasts and live-stream discussions exploded in popularity. Hosts invited fans and experts to break down every nuance of Jaguar's revelations, including the implications for Jay-Z's reputation, the legacy of his empire, and the cultural conversation surrounding Rihanna and Aaliyah. Each new analysis video added fuel to the fire, with viewers commenting, sharing, and creating even more content in response. The memes, GIFs, and clips played a pivotal role in keeping the drama alive. Even casual fans who had no prior interest in Jay-Z or Jaguar Wright were drawn in, captivated by the audacity, emotion, and intensity of the story. Moments that went viral were dissected frame by frame, often exaggerating expressions or pauses for maximum effect, feeding both humor and speculation. Industry. Insiders monitored the situation closely. Managers, PR teams, and collaborators understood that this wasn't just about entertainment. It had implications for brand deals, collaborations, and public perception. Every statement, post, and reaction carried potential consequences. In a world where digital visibility shapes reputation, Jaguar's revelations highlighted how powerful a single voice can be in shaping cultural conversation. As the days passed, Jay-Z's eventual response became one of the most anticipated moments in entertainment. Fans speculated endlessly. Would it be a statement, an interview, a diss track, or a subtle social media post? The suspense only amplified engagement, keeping the story trending and making it impossible for anyone in hip-hop or pop culture to ignore. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright's impact solidified. Whether people agreed with her claims or not, she had shifted the conversation, brought hidden issues to light, and reminded fans and artists alike that speaking out has consequences, both for the person speaking and for those being addressed. Her courage inspired discussion, debate, and reflection on the responsibilities of influence, fame, and transparency. The viral momentum also sparked international attention. Fans from different countries debated the cultural significance of the revelations, shared translations of clips, and contextualized Jaguar's words in global music and entertainment culture. The story transcended borders, making it one of the most talked about topics worldwide. As part 3 unfolds, it's clear that the implications go far beyond social media drama. Jay-Z's legacy, Jaguar Wright's reputation, and the conversation surrounding Rihanna and Aaliyah have all been permanently altered. The story is a living, evolving cultural moment that demonstrates the power of truth, accountability, and the internet's ability to amplify voices that challenge even the most influential figures. At the heart of it, this isn't just a story about celebrities. It's about power, legacy, accountability, and culture. Jaguar Wright's revelations force the world to reckon with uncomfortable truths, and the ripple effects will continue to influence how fans, artists, and the industry view fame, loyalty, and morality. By the time the dust settles, one thing is certain: Jaguar Wright's words have left a permanent mark on hip-hop culture. Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Aaliyah are now forever tied to a story that will be dissected, debated, and analyzed for years to come. And for fans, this is a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour, there are always layers of truth waiting to be revealed, if someone has the courage to speak it. The drama isn't over. The conversations won't stop. And the impact of these revelations will ripple through hip-hop, pop culture, and entertainment at large, a true testament to the power of speaking out, even against icons.